What is up, everybody? My name is Justin French, covering music for those who care, and right now I'm going to take a look at two metal records that came out today and kind of do them in more of a podcast type feel for this video. So anyways, without further ado, these records are from Black Label Society and of Mice and Men. They are entitled respectively Grimmest Hits and Defy. So kind of want to get into talking about the Black Label Society record first, which is Grimmest Hits. About said greatest. I got into Black Label Society. Oh, in case you don't know who Black Label Society is, this is basically a more hard rock, heavy metal band, but this is fronted by former, or I guess he's still in there now, but Ozzy Osbourne guitarist Zakk Wylde. And he's been with Ozzy for a really long time. I know he left after Black Rain came out, and he actually is doing tours with Ozzy right now, but I got into Black Label Society about the time that their last record, Catacombs of the Black Vatican, came out, and I actually enjoyed that record. I really love singles such as My Dying Time and Angel of Mercy, and Scars is a pretty beautiful song in my opinion. So going into this record, I really had no idea what to expect because it's been 4 years since that record came out, and I'm not gonna lie, at first, whenever I saw the album title, I honestly kind of went into iTunes for like 15 minutes trying to figure out what album the first single, Room of Nightmares, was on. And speaking of that track, I felt that it was a nice lead single to lead your album off with. And I really like the punchy guitar work Zakk Wylde delivers on the track, along with an almost urgent-like vocal delivery. However, it didn't really have me coming back to it as much as My Dying Time did whenever that came out, but I mean, it's still pretty good. And listening to that album, I have to say this. While this album feels a bit heavier in its riff department, the solos on this thing feel very, very bluesy, at least in my opinion. One track that I noticed that on is All That One Shine, there we go, which I found to be probably the weakest song on this record. I mean, it's okay for what it is, and the riff isn't bad along with the change-up, but it kind of left me a little bit underwhelmed as a single. And then we got another track before this album was released a week later, and that was Trampled Down Below, which really begins with a sludgy bass riff that I would kind of refer to as the modern day No More Tears bass riff, I guess you could say. Probably gonna get a lot of hate for that, but anyways, I really have to say that the guitar comes in very swampy, and it actually feels very nice, and I have to say, it's a pretty good album opener. And this album does have a nice showcase of the band slowing down on a few tracks, such as A Love Unreal, Nothing Left to Say, and The Day That Heaven Went Away, with its nice bluesy guitars and organs playing in the background, one of my highlights on this record. Overall, I wouldn't say it's as great or good as Catacombs of the Black Vatican, but I would say if you want some good sludgy heavy metal, I think you're really going to enjoy this record, along with fans of Zakk Wylde. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give this album most likely a decent 6.5 out of 10. So anyways, now we're going to go talk about the new of Mice and Men record, Defy. So I got kind of into this band about the time their last record, Cold War, came out, and I'm not going to lie, that record kind of bored me a little bit. I mean, they tried to mix new metal along with metalcore, and I know they did that on the past couple of releases, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too big on that sound. However, in December of 2016, the band's lead vocalist Austin Carlisle left the band due to health issues, and Aaron Pauley, the band's bassist at the time, would later become the new vocalist, and I have to say, his delivery on this record isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. This album released 5 singles, and I'll go into them quickly before I talk about the rest of the album and what I feel about them. Unbreakable wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't as great. Back to Me was pretty basic and generic as it comes. Warzone brought more of the band's well-known metalcore sound into the mix, and I really enjoyed the bridge on that. It honestly kind of made me feel like something from like 90s alternative rock or something like that. Defy was okay, it's not really a highlight on this record, and I really enjoyed the band's cover of Money by Pink Floyd. Yeah, I bet you didn't expect that to see that on a new of Mice and Men record. But on this track, I feel like it's one of the highlights because I don't feel they alienated their sound on this track, and I feel as if it was their own thing. Now, this album is very split on its sound. There are moments that feel a bit more melodic, like Sunflower with its kind of grungy-like vocal melodies, and Vertigo with a more slow burn instrumentation along with the band's well-known metalcore sound on tracks such as Warzone, which I just talked about a little bit ago, and Forever YGN, which I don't understand the title. What does YGN stand for? If anyone would mind telling me, maybe I might have a better kind of view as to what that means, go ahead and you can type it in the comment section down below. I do not mind. But anyways, this album ends very differently from anything that I've heard from of Mice and Men, which is more of a ballad track. If We Were Ghosts, which trades the more heavier sound for a more mellow and acoustic, folksy vibe. But I really enjoyed the album. Overall, I think it's definitely better than the past two records that the band has put out. And musically, I do feel that this album is going to split fans because, number one, it doesn't sound as heavier as the other records. And number two, well, I'm sure this one isn't going to be much of a shock, but Carlisle's vocals are very absent on this record. But I suggest that fans at least give it a spin or two, or anyone looking into maybe more metalcore, new metalcore, there we go. But on this record, I think I'm going to have to give that one a light 7 out of 10. So anyways, y'all, those are my thoughts on the new Black Label Society and the new Of Mice and Men record. So anyways, thank you all for watching this video. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you can click down at the bottom to catch up on more content or watch another video that I did. If you want to see the last video I did, you can click right up at the top. You can't really see my face, but I'll put it on here somewhere. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you soon.